We are here with the infamous Trish Gwynn from
Hello.
Ontario Improv. We are in the midst of making her first video, her first DVD. So we are going to go ahead with questions. We'll start with the first one, which is, how did you get into comedy?
How I got into comedy was the fact that I was in the fourth grade. I wasn't very popular. I wasn't the pretty girl. I wasn't the one that everyone wanted to hang out with. And I knew that I wanted some attention. Oh, I'm such an attention whore. It happens. So in fourth grade, I decided that I was going to be at the lunchroom table in Misawa, Japan. And I had just finished watching all of Bill Cosby's older, they were on cassette tapes. They weren't even DVDs. That's just totally dates me, doesn't it? And it was the tour before the Himself tour where he was talking about marbles under the piano. Buck Buck was just introduced. He was talking a lot about the chicken heart that ate in New York City, which was my favorite. And I had hacked Bill's stuff all at the lunch table and had everybody roll in. People from the kitchen came running out. They were all excited. They didn't know what was happening, but they wanted to see. And I don't know, it was just it was a fire. I loved the attention. I liked making people laugh. I just loved it. It just felt really good. So I decided one day I'm going to do that. And hey, lo and behold, here I am doing it. That's the answer to that.
So, Trish,
Yes.
what was your first gig
Well, I've had a lot of gigs before. You mean like
in general?
in general? Okay. Well, I've done a lot of stuff for Rotary clubs and Chamber of Commerce, but I wouldn't call that the gig. First gig I did was at the Ramada Inn on Palmdale Road in Victorville. And it was a stage. It was from Comedy Time. They had asked me to come and do some time, but I was a rookie then. I didn't pay attention. I ran the light like you would not believe. I mean, don't do that. That's really bad. Nobody likes that. I did like 20 minutes of the 5 that they gave me, and I did great. I had smashing. They never called me back again, though. They will as soon as I'm done with Showtime. When I get my Showtime special, they'll be remembering me that I was the stupid girl that ran their light. That's how it was my first gig.
Trish, who are your comedy influences?
Well, like I said, I usually tell people I really don't have one or two comedy influences. There's so many. Anybody that's doing this and making money and actually putting a hole in a stage somewhere that's making a difference and staying in people's DVD collections at home, those are my influences. You know, you can say Margaret Cho. I want to say Roseanne Barr. I get compared to her quite a bit, quite a bit. And you know, you've got your Charlie Murphy, your Eddie Murphys. You've got um, I like a lot. That's just mainstream. Then I like what you want to know, underground stuff or just
Wasn't there another one, Thraddis or?
oh, Christopher Titus.
That one.
Yeah, Christopher Titus. He was actually one of the second comedy show that I had seen, and he really touched me in a way because he comes from a dysfunctional home and he was able to bring that to life on a stage. And people with dysfunctional home upbringing, which is pretty much all of us. I mean, nobody has it perfect. But he had a way of putting it into perspective, which changed my life and made me go forward in comedy and bring my story to a place on a stage where other people can relate. And his was the fan, the shit hits the fan. I love that bit. He talks about how people who have been through some stuff are the normal, and the people who haven't really had a lot of trauma happen to them, they're not the normal. So he kind of switched it up. And he said the ones that have been through a bunch of stuff, they know how to get the hell out of the way of the fan when the shit hits it. And that is the truth. And ever since I heard that little bit, and he can tell it better, I'm not going to hack his stuff. It kind of like went click. I know that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my story, I'm going to make it, and I'm going to run with it. But there's so many. I can't really put one. I like them all. I could be watching Jim Carrey, who's very animated, and I can switch all the way over to Red Fox and Red Skelton. You know, you can do Benny Hill. That was a fun one for a long time. You know, there's just so many. I mean, I don't really want to put myself in a box and say, oh, just this guy. Everybody, I like them.
So, Trish, who are your most influential people in your life?
I'd have to say my girls. I have 3 teenage daughters. Well, actually, not anymore. I got a 21-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 16-year-old daughter, and they just surprise me every day with the things that they're doing. It's really cool when you can redo history. You can have some children. You can redo everything that didn't happen good in your life and see the finished product that's still in motion. So it's not even finished. I don't know why I said that. But that would have to say my children. I don't really look up to anybody else but them because they're going to do great things, and I'm going to take all the credit for it because that's what I do.
Trish, tell us about your upbringing.
Well, it was very interesting. I don't come from one of those homes that had the Rebecca from Sunnybrook Farm issues. I don't even know if I'm even comfortable talking about it right now. I just say that there is a book in motion. There is a lot of topics that I will touch on. I think I've touched on them in a few interviews. I just want to say that, I took what was happening and I made it into something positive and I'm rolling with it. And let's just keep it at that for right now. We'll see that on the 2020 special really soon.
Do you think it's harder for females to make it in this industry than male comics?
I don't think it's harder, but I don't want to discredit some women who are saying that it is. I know I used to say that, but it's not it's a longer road. It's not per se harder to make it. It's just a longer road because you do have to battle through the testosterone levels. There's a certain level of funny that a female needs to present herself as, and the only way to do that is to keep plugging away. I know I'm on year 13 right now. Year 13. It's been a long road, but a lot of things have happened. Now, I've seen men go in and make it in 6, but that's no here nor there saying it's because they're a man and, or their gender. It just means that they've either done a different avenue. Some of it could be because they're men. But I just know that I don't really pay attention to that at all because I just know that I am funny. I know I have a personality and I know I have something different. So I know even if it is harder for me, I know the minute I get that stage, the minute I get that time, it's my job to prove that I'm here to stay. I'm not going anywhere and I'm going to keep coming back and they're not going to be able to stop me. Male, female, it doesn't matter. So I want to say that's a touchy question and it can be, but if you really are diligent and you do the work, it'll still happen for you. So just be patient, even no matter who you are.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what makes the Trish Gwynn show special to you?
Well, number one, I got it at the Ontario Improv. I only had one shot. A friend of mine, Bruce Jingles, he's a very accomplished comedian, and he's been doing this for a long time. And I remember sitting in the car with him. We were going to a gig, and I said, "Man, I just want just one night to do something." And he just made it happen. And he didn't per se. I didn't keep it because of that. I kept it because my show was unique. It's fun. It's personal, and I love the title of it, which I name it because I said so. I know that's a wide range philosophy, and what do you want to call it? What would you say that is? It's like a catchphrase. It's been around for a long time in different areas. I grew up in a very military-style home. Everything was old school, ass whippings, because I said so. There was no timeout. It was punch out. So I like it.
Awesome. Now, what do you think makes your fans come back to see your show multiple times?
Well, I can go by what I've been told. I mean, I'm not going to get my ego out of control. Basically, what I've been told is that I make it personal. If you've gone to my shows, we've had marriage proposals on that stage with comedy. We've had cancer survivors there uplifting them with their stuff because I'm also a cancer survivor. I think it's just that I have this ability to connect with my crowd, and that's what I do. Before the show even starts, I'm already bouncing around in the audience to find out who's had a bad day, who's leading the table, who's going to be the heckler, who's going to, be the fun one. I mean, that's what I do. I go down there, I get to know them. That way, when I'm ready to hit that stage, they already feel like they know me. They feel like they've been there before. They want to come back, and I just think that a lot of entertainers and comedians forget that that's important, and hopefully I never lose that. I hope I keep that going, and I hope everyone keeps coming back to my show because honestly, it's worth it, and it's fun.
That's great. Now, how do you describe yourself? We want to know, more personal, in-depth things about you. What makes you tick? What are some hobbies? Things like that.
Well, a lot of things make me tick. I love shiny things. I like things that bark, things that meow, things that move. I like bright colors. I'm almost like a child. It's ridiculous. I like guns. I like knives. I like to have fun. I don't care. Everything in my life, everywhere I go, I will take it and make it into a personal playground for myself. I don't think that I'm limited. I won't put myself in a box. And I mean, you never know what you're going to see me do ever. I could be on the top of a building. I don't know, Running Man. I don't know. I could be at the park playing on a slide. You just never know. I just think, for me, I'm just me. I'm just happy most of the time. I'm a real person. I have my down days, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy. I like people.
Now, I heard that you're a breast cancer survivor. Can you tell us a little bit about that, how that makes you feel?
Well, I'm grateful to be a survivor. Number one, there were days where I didn't think I was going to, just because your brain plays a little mind trick on you where, you think you're beaten, but you're not. Took a year and a half off of comedy so that I could get better and do all the treatments, follow directions. I don't really, I think I feel a little sad though, because there's a lot of people that don't make it, and I hear their stories. When I came back and did my I Didn't Die show, basically, I had a lot of people lean on my shoulder and tell me I've only have 4 months to live. I haven't laughed in 2 years. You made my night. And, of course, everybody busts out in tears, and we just can't. It's a little rough. I'm excited to be on the planet. I don't think I take things too serious anymore. I take things serious when I have to, but for the most part, I don't really let a lot of things bother me. I think I have better things to worry about. I think us as a human race have a lot of better things to be worrying about, especially after you beat something like that. If you really want a problem, get something that's going to kill you or take you out of the planet, and that'll be a problem. Your rent due, your light bill due, that'll all be settled with, a puff of weed.
Was there anyone specifically that helped you get through your cancer?
There were specific people. I want to say I didn't tell anybody that I had cancer, and I remember walking into the Improv where Rene Garcia was sitting. He was on the show. I was just there supporting the Dirty Show, and he saw something was different about me that night, and he kind of looked at me like he knew, and I divulged that I had breast cancer, just been diagnosed, and he really helped me get through that. I don't think I would have been able to function or without that direction from him, because he is in the medical field, and he wanted to make sure that I knew what was going to come up and what I was going to face and what I was going to have to do. And without that, and not only just the cancer, he's always helped me understand that this is a hard game for comedy, and I need to take care of me because no one else is going to. And I've been doing that ever since, and that formula has got me to the place that I'm at, and it'll get me to places that I'm going to be. And I'm very grateful for him. He makes me cry, and I love him very dearly. Not to mention Bruce Jingles. He always texts me during my cancer, how you doing? What are you doing? And I was happy about that. So those are my two main focals for cancer. I want to say goodbye to everybody. That's about as much as I can talk tonight. I want to say thank you for coming to my shows. I hope this DVD is a mini introductory to the main DVD, so that's why it's going to be cheaper. And I can't wait to see you on tomorrow night at the Trish Gwynn Because I Said So show. Love you. Because I'm in this mail industry, I named it, your big nose just when I say that. It's my DVD. I can say what I want.